Hello everyone and welcome to a new video from Your Destiny. I'm Eddie the Chump and today we'll be talking Crucible, loot pool depth and variation, and how in my opinion the PvP elements of Destiny 2 need a little work. Let me put this out there before I begin. I think Destiny 2 in general is fantastic. I think the Crucible has a really solid base that gives it the potential to be amazing. 4v4, better maps, better balance, all positive things by most measurements with a few exceptions. We'll get to that later. I've spent an unhealthy amount of time playing this game since its release on Wednesday. I've enjoyed every second of it. The PvE elements have me truly addicted. There's not a change to the game that I didn't think was amazing. Public events, how you build vendor rep, exotic quests, adventures, lost sectors, hell even patrols have me engaged. All of this adds up to a deeply satisfying PvE experience. Leveling your guardian, constructing your favourite way to play through understanding the skill trees and weapon choices, it's all just so compelling. There's so much to do and most importantly, so many reasons to do it. The same, I fear, is not yet true of Crucible. Now a lot of Destiny players are okay with that, I think. To most of the player base, Destiny was its PvE. They probably had low expectations of the Crucible in Destiny 2, and if anything, it's better than they thought it would be. But I feel slightly different. To explain this, I need to return to Destiny 1 and explore why I found the Crucible and its loot so compelling. In Destiny 1, we had variable rolls on all weapons outside of exotics. Some guns drew perks from a table of possible options on 2 of their slots, meaning the same gun had many different versions, ranging from the most useless to the fabled God Luna of years 2 and 3. Because the Isa Luna or the Matador were Crucible drops, you had to keep playing to get the roll that you wanted. It was a chase, a grind. Even the vendor guns like the Palindrome changed on a weekly reset. So that set up this exciting anticipation in players. Not knowing what you were going to get was at the same time frustrating and exhilarating. Like I said, the thrill of the chase. That's not even counting the joy of getting that top tier exotic primary to drop when it was in its prime. When I got my first Hawkmoon, it was still godlike. It's one of the best feelings I've ever got from a video game. Many people are like that with the Galahorn or the Mythoclast in year 1. They were precious, overpowered and extremely exciting because of that. Destiny 1's Crucible had really engaging mechanics loot-wise. I was always on the lookout for a new role from a vendor weapon that could be a Dark Horse PvP monster. The sheer variation in possible weapon rolls meant that the content was actually incredibly deep, if a little dependent on the player's RNG luck. It still made me play though, it got me. I was addicted. Now let's fast forward to Destiny 2. We don't have variable rolls on weapons. Vendors don't sell legendaries, not in the traditional sense, and there is no reset mechanic on the types of guns available. So what does that amount to? A drastically smaller loot pool. There simply isn't the variation there once was. Now, it might be a bit unfair to compare a game that's launched not even a week ago to a game that has 3 years of content. I concede that point. It is perfectly possible that the loot pool for Destiny 2 grows exponentially over time. Trials and the raid arrive next week, so there's some new loot already, and that's just week 2. But I am concerned that the lack of variable rolls on weapons will eventually lead to stagnation. They need hundreds of different legendary options to match the first game, not the tens of variable guns in each category that exist now. The reason I talk about this is, when I think about it, the PvE does such an amazing job of giving you reasons to keep playing. Crucible doesn't really. It's much better now as an activity. It's way less spammy, much more skill-based, and much more enjoyable. But what reason does the game give me to play it long term? It doesn't really, and that's the main issue. The rewards for a Crucible match are paltry. A Crucible token, maybe 2, maybe a gun, and the chance of a legendary or exotic drop. Heroic public events do all that and take about half the time. Sure, Shaxx has his own rep to build with Crucible loot, but there isn't that much of it, so once you've got all the guns, which doesn't take very long, what's the point? Milestone mechanics make it a bit better, I guess, but not really. I need to chase something rare, something hidden, something valuable. That mechanic isn't there, and I deeply feel its absence. So what can be done? Well, Destiny 2 Crucible is more in need of a ranking system than any game in history. If I can't chase elusive loot, I can chase prestige. At the moment, there is no real reason to play the competitive playlist. I actually prefer the game modes if I'm honest. I think Clash and Supremacy play poorly in 4v4, especially on console. The matches usually devolve into a very lane-orientated campfest. Control is still great, however. Competitive needs a tiered reward system or something. Better drops maybe, a higher chance of exotics, something like that. Give people a reason to play it. Now if you don't know, activating a Mercy rule on a team in Crucible does give you a much higher chance of an exotic drop. But Mercying a team is quite rare now, and that's not enough. If there's a playlist called competitive, it should be exactly that. I should be going into the harder activity, knowing that if I succeed, the rewards will be greater. like a Nightfall. The competitive playlist should be the heroic activity of Crucible and have the benefits that come with it. Currently it doesn't. Now, to ease off the gas a little bit, this is the week of release. What I want could be just around the corner. The main PvE game has me so happy to play it, it's not even true. I just wish Crucible was as engaging and compelling. In its current state, I don't think it's quite there yet. Let me know in the comments if you feel the same way, or if you think I'm talking absolute garbage. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a rating. If you never want to miss another video of us again, please click the bell icon next to the subscribe button on our channel to join the notification squad. You'll be in good company. And finally, please check out our Twitter where you can find updates about new videos and other cool stuff. I've been Eddie the Chump, and until next time.